Today I'm joined by Latterian Harrison and Jay Gass, two members of CHS today. Also, Latterian's a track athlete. His senior year for track may have been cut short. Jalen, he's a professional J. Uh, we apologize for this not being a screen recording. I currently can't figure it out. But let's get into it, alright guys. So we've been in quarantine for 3 weeks, right? It's what have you guys been doing?
Well, I've been doing quite a bit, all that ab workouts and running around the country. Actually, 3 days ago was my last run. I ran 18.7 miles, and then they were like, "You cannot be gone for that long," and so now I'm not allowed to run anymore.
That's a tough scene.
So that's about it. That is tough scene.
That's completely opposite of what I've done. I've binge watched Hulu. I played video games.
I do that too.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot too.
Yeah, that's basically all we can do.
All I'm saying is the video game industry is definitely booming right now.
I'm saying, I saw a thing yesterday of a GTA 6 trailer, and I was like, if they want to make some bank, they have to release that now.
They're releasing it now.
If they want to make some bank, I'm just saying. But, so when you guys first found out about all the news about school being postponed, originally it was to April 11th, I believe. What do you guys remember your reactions being?
April 13th.
April 13th.
So I remember my last Friday at the high school, until we go back, or if we go back. I remember when they decided they were going to cancel it. I was sitting in my 7th period, Mr. Green's class, a supposedly college class, but the people in there don't act like it. So I'm sitting there, I hadn't felt good all day, so it hadn't been the best day anyways. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just thinking to myself, because there was a rumor going around that Rushville was closing, Richmond was thinking about it, and I was like, oh God, we're going to. And I was just sitting there thinking, and I was like, no, we can't. I have things that are happening in the summer for college. I'm having all this happening. I want to graduate, June 7th, I think is when we graduate, or we're supposed to. And then somebody comes over the intercom and tells us that we are canceling school until April 13th, and my stomach just dropped. I was like, to be honest, I've never been the one to say I hate school. To me, school is something, school is what you make it, to be honest with you. There's always going to be work, but it's how you deal with the work. And so, to me, I actually like school because I make it fun. And so when I heard it was going to be canceled for over a month, I really just sat there and I was like, wow, this is my senior year. I'm not going to have sports. I'm not going to be able to chill with my friends. Everything was just going downhill. That was my initial reaction.
Yeah. I leave half the day. I leave after 5th, I think, and go to work. So I didn't hear the news. So it was basically a normal day, and then all of a sudden it was just out of nowhere, oh yeah, you're not going to school for a couple weeks and everything. And then it kept getting pushed back further and further. It didn't really hit me. I like school, I like seeing my friends, but I don't know, I just feel like with all this going on, it was bound to happen, so I kind of braced myself for it, and I was somewhat prepared, and now I'm just, I don't know, it's weird,
It is. I definitely.
Years, and then this happens out of nowhere.
I definitely agree. To think about it, if I'm sitting here in quarantine for 3 weeks now, I've just been sitting here, and I don't think it's fully set in that I'm not going back to school. I'm still sitting here, I'm like, oh, we still have school, it's going to come, but what if it doesn't? That right there is not set in yet.
With that, because how you said how you feel like we won't. So, has that been a feeling you've had since originally when they brought up that school would be postponed, or have you just kind of thought that recently?
No, it wasn't until that they had delayed, the governor had delayed schools until May 1st, that I was thinking, wow, we might not go back. Because around that time I actually was watching the news and stuff and staying up to date, and doctors were talking about how they wanted to quarantine us for like 2.5 years and stuff, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm glad that that's what the doctors want to do and not what we would actually do, because like all of the stuff that would affect like the economic standpoints and stuff would be tremendous, and like it'd be scary.
Just imagine.
But I was just thinking, I was like, wow, we could not go back to school until senior year. That's kind of...
Just imagine if like we did get quarantined for like 2.5 years, like the doctor said, and then like we just all pop out. Looks like we're cavemen come out of the tomb. It's like it is.
Thinking, I'm like, I need a haircut, but I can't go get one.
No, I've never gone this long without a haircut.
So much. I have so much because it's so big.
Nate, that's a big fight, bro.
Nate's hungry. This is what the quarantine's done to. I've also ate so much.
Yes.
I literally go to the kitchen and I'm like, I eat a full course meal, like big meal, like 3 plates, and then an hour later I'm in the kitchen scavenging. Like it's bad.
Yes.
Oh shoot! I just spilled my salsa.
Bruh.
But
you know you need to be rationing, Nate.
I know.
Yes, dude, are you kidding me? You better not eat toilet paper.
I'm saving the toilet paper. Oh, you'd love to see the logo. On the logo, I put senior night and then toilet paper to the side of it and like a moon.
It was a moon and then toilet paper stack.
But no, you guys skate a lot though, so I know you guys. I remember after competition, you guys were skating. You tried teaching me how to longboard. I couldn't figure that out at all. But
we don't skate actually.
Longboard.
We shred the knot.
You shred the knot.
Shred the knot. That's what we do. Just if you're gonna use the right terminology.
Just the crunch. It's like I'm waiting for the crunch again. But have you guys, Latterian? I know you've been in quarantine a little bit recently. Did that start recently, or did that start like?
No, it actually started the last day of the play. So Saturday, we did not cancel school. My grandparents shut me down on quarantine, and I wasn't allowed to go anywhere after that Saturday. So I've been in quarantine literally for the past 3 weeks, like actual quarantine. Haven't left my house, and it was only to run. Like, it's been bad. Like, I can't do anything. I can't see anybody. It's bad.
Jay, has yours been like that, or has yours just started up since everything's kind of gone on lockdown?
Mine's kind of been like that. I still have to go to work because I work for the city.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't go anywhere. As soon as school was canceled, I think I went and watched the play, and then that's like the last thing I've done.
But you work for the city.
Most people do.
Yeah, you work for the city, so like, have they been in panic, where a little bit, or has it been kind of mellow?
It's pretty mellow. We're just not allowing anybody inside the city hall and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Close everything up. We're just trying to like, figure out the best course of action, I guess.
Right. I've been recently watching 2 Minutes with the Mayor, watching up on the Chad Frank. He keeps us updated quite a bit, actually, just saying. Go watch that on local TV3 on YouTube, just so advertise for my job, too.
But yeah, you guys shred the nard, so have you guys done that before? Or like, have you guys done that somewhat relatively before quarantine started?
I did it once, as quarantine started. When's the last time we shredded the nard before quarantine? That time we went to Taco Bell and they like got us our food instantly. It was like,
Yeah.
That's a rarity for Taco Bell to do that.
I know. We showed up at like 2:30 p.m. and they just instantly gave us our food.
They're just like, oh man, they're shredding the nard. We have to give it to them.
It was just when we found out that Wendy's was remodeling and we couldn't get Wendy's.
Yeah.
I've been in quarantine so long. I've been in quarantine so long that I forgot that they're getting remodeled, honestly.
He's like, I'm evolving, I've become blind, and I don't...
It's like I'm sitting in my room just doing math problems on the walls. You just see like B plus C equals A minus squared. But No, what have you guys done really to keep yourself occupied? I know Jay mentioned video games, but
And I mentioned working out earlier, but I did try shredding the gnar in the country. You know, the roads aren't the best for shredding the gnar, but I did recently try it. And so I went out there in my house coat and my board. I took my board, and I used. Oh God!
I like how it switched over to Jay.
Yeah. So I recently used my house coat like a sail and sailed down the road because it's been so windy the past few days because of the storms and stuff. So that was my last experience shredding the gnar.
So I mean, more on with you guys is I want to get back on you guys' senior year a little bit. So far, prom, I believe it was postponed, correct? Or did they not? I remember they mentioned something in a tweet about prom. Scott Collins did.
Okay, so I'm in the senior class group chat because we have that and we deal with prom. From what I've noticed, prom is still on. I really haven't paid attention in the group chat that much because it's so wild. But to me, I think it's still on. I haven't seen anything else about them canceling.
Yeah.
So it's still on as of right now.
Do you guys have any fears that it may not be on?
To be honest, I don't care if they cancel it. That's what I'm at.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
I wasn't going
cancel
anyways.
prom. I thought about going because I like dances, but like at this point, I'm just like, prom or no prom, I don't care. Just let me graduate and go to college at this point. So I'm not really looking forward to prom anymore, as I was at the beginning of the year.
So, LT, you're a track runner. To go on with that, I mean, you guys usually have senior night, which is kind of the idea I wanted to get out of the show, was like to promote the seniors, shed some light on them, because your guys' year may be over. You guys want to get to live out the rest of the high school experience. So, with that, I guess here's your senior night, LT. What college do you plan on attending?
I plan on attending Goshen University up north.
What do you plan on majoring in?
I'm double majoring in broadcast journalism, so I'm actually getting 2 majors.
And how long have you been in track? Like, what accolades have you had in track? How long have you been a member?
I have been a member since 7th grade, so 6 years. Not to mention I did elementary track, which was like a thing that they had at my elementary school. So I did it for 6 years officially, 7 years if you just count running around the track without an event.
All right, and for Jay, have you had a college that you plan on attending yet, or are you still undecided?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Ivy Tech and get my general studies, and then I'm gonna move to Ball State for who knows. I have no idea.
All right. So I mean, with all this, staying on with your past years in high school, I'm sure you guys have had a lot of memories from CHS today, SSN, sports, going outside, shredding the nard with each other. What's one of your guys' favorite memories throughout high school?
Did you guys see that? Somebody peeked in my room.
No.
They went. You'll have to go back and edit that and just zoom in and somebody opened my door.
That's a throwback from like beginning of the year. I remember that you guys spent like a whole week doing that, and then you guys were gonna make it to like a YouTube series.
But we never got around to it. We stayed busy.
Yeah. Jay, what's your favorite memory?
I'd have to agree with LC. We get up to a lot of shenanigans, and it's fun. I don't know. The plays were always fun. Guy Girl, I'm glad I decided to do that. That was fun. Getting homecoming king, that's something I never thought I'd do.
Royalty.
Yeah. It's all been good, honestly. I loved all my teachers. Did most of what I wanted to do, if not all of what I wanted to do. The whole thing is encompassed. It's all a good memory, you know?
Well said, Jay.
That has been motivational quotes by Jay. But so you guys look back at all your years, freshman, sophomore, junior, and now senior. what would you guys have said would have been your easiest year?
Freshman.
Freshman?
Freshman year, I literally could be silly, stupid, pass all my classes with A's, and not even give a care in the world, and just be chill. Freshman year and sophomore year were definitely my easiest years.
I would say senior year has been my easiest year. Like, I go half the day for basically CHS Today stuff, and then a few other classes, and then I leave. So senior year has definitely been easiest for me.
I made the mistake of getting a seven class schedule. Just say.
So you guys look back at everybody talks about how junior year is hardest. You guys have gone through junior year fully. About to go through senior year fully. So for people going into junior year and so on, what advice would you have to give for them about that?
I'll give the same advice that I gave like the 8th grade or ECHS people coming up to the high school. I'll give the same advice. Junior year wasn't actually that hard, and I took almost all of my classes were college classes. They weren't hard. It was just you needed to not procrastinate, which I did, but I got through it. Not to procrastinate. You have to be your own person, definitely an advocate of yourself. You have to stay on top of your own things. They're not going to check if you were absent. They're not going to make up a quiz unless you schedule it. Like, you just have to be an advocate of yourself and want to be successful. And then junior year will be really easy and fall into place. Like, people like to say that you won't have time to, hang out with friends, do sports, all because of the homework, because they scare you with this 3-hour homework thing for your junior year. And that 3 hours, they actually give you class time and stuff. You just have to take advantage of all the opportunities given to you, because I did sports, I did the college classes, and I still hung out with friends. So that's what it comes down to, is being an advocate of yourself and wanting to succeed.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with LT. It's not so much that it's hard, it's different from all the other years you went to school. And it's really kind of the year where you're figuring out who you want to be, what you want to do, and getting your priorities. This is what I got to do first, this is what I got to do second, so on and so forth. And once you get that straight, it's really not bad.
Definitely agree.
So that's a little bit question that's going to kind of get a little bit deeper in your guys' past in high school. So Jay, from what I've heard, is he used to be shy up until about junior year, I believe. Yeah, so I mean, you guys look back, what's one thing you never thought you would have been like, I guess, how are you different now from what you thought you would have been like from the past?
Oh. Do you want to go first, Jay, or do you want me to
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. Like LT said, I was emo screamo. When I first came in, I wore headphones all the time, blaring metal and rock and everything. I didn't really talk.
Like one of the kids that walked through the courtyard with the speaker blasting X.
Yeah, I was kind of like that. I wasn't brave enough to go out and blare with full on speaker.
That's
just whispered to himself. He's like, "Open up the gate down in the He's like,
I've definitely changed a lot, especially even in just 1 year from going to the high school. Because I started in sophomore year, I didn't go freshman year. I went to a different school. But even sophomore year, from first semester to second semester, it was a pretty big shift. I don't know if I could tell myself something from then and tell them what I know now. It would just be like, these people that you think are going to be mean or rude or make fun of you are just people trying to go on with their lives like you are, and they're just like you, and talk to them. They're awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember that. Jay thought I was a bully, and that Trent Eklund would beat him up when he first sat at our table in radio and TV. Yeah. We were the meanest people. And look at us now. Definitely. So, in 8th grade, I was definitely a shy, do my work, not mess with anybody. I had my own circle. My own circle was myself. I was very shy. I didn't go out of my way to do things. And then like freshman year hit, and I was like super scared because I was like, oh my god, this are 4 years of people, all different, all of their own selves, individuals, and like upperclassmen started to like me, and I was just being myself, and it kind of started to give me this like security, and I became an extrovert from an introvert. I started to do things that I wouldn't do before. I started being silly and not worrying about what people would think because I'm just there to make the people I care about laugh. Like, I became this whole different person that I never thought I would ever be. I don't care to speak in front of anybody. Like, I turned into a completely different person. And it was just amazing to see that happen over the course of 4 years. Because, go ahead.
What would you say helped that, though? Because, I mean, there's been classes I'm sure that you've taken that's kind of helped build that confidence up, so.
Definitely classes that I've taken to help build that confidence. So freshman year, there's not really any classes you can take to kind of help bring yourself out of a shell. It's kind of, freshman year is kind of seeing where you fall. Are you going to be in advanced classes, general classes, or in the middle? And then as you get into sophomore year, you can actually explore where your strongholds are. You know, WCC doors open. You're actually allowed to take a radio and TV class, and there's all of these other classes that you can take as an elective. And one of the things is that I got Paula Schaus actually to recommend me to Joe Gawacki's radio and TV classes. One of the classes I've taken that really helped me come out of my shell. And then later down the road, speech class. But like by then, I was already my own person, and I was okay with speaking. But I definitely recommend taking public speaking class with L-Dog. And that kind of stuff, you know, because she's just that cool. But if I could give advice to my earlier self to this version, or vice versa, I would just tell my older self, just to be yourself, and everything else will fall into place. Because that's what I did, and I've become a better person overall. That's the advice I would give. Just be yourself, and you'll naturally attract people who want to be around you. You won't have to go search for friends because those friends will find you. But just be yourself, and everything else will literally fall into place. That's the kind of advice I would give.
So we've gone over how most likely the school year has come to a close. So what's one thing that you guys were looking forward to that you never got the chance to do?
I was looking forward to breaking 2 minutes in my 800 because that's my goal as going into college for... excuse me, Nathan, but you distracted me. That's what I was looking forward to, is breaking 2 minutes in my 800, which is a half a mile, because I'm at a 207, 208 right now, and my goal is to get to 2:5 before I go to college and run track. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that competitively. I can do that on my own, but that doesn't mean anything because there's nobody there watching.
I think for me, since I didn't do any sports or anything, probably for CHS Today, the last broadcast, the last week of it or anything, and just having everybody around, reading the scripts one at a time, everybody getting a chance, and just saying goodbye, you know.
The more I'm listening to you talk, the more and more I'm like, why is Jay thinking the same thing as I thought of? Because I was sitting on there the other day thinking of questions, and I was like, I could ask him about the CHS broadcast because I'm sure that's something Jay and LT would both miss. And then that's exactly. But yeah, I thought about that. I mean, last broadcast, it's always something fun. I mean, there's always something good. I remember last year's last broadcast. Obviously, you guys are going to get to miss out on that. A good thing is you guys got to relive, or you guys got to live one of your last SSN broadcasts during sectionals. So, but I mean, there's plenty of things that you guys are missing out on, so.
I know, there's plenty of, like, this year is the 50th year of CHS Today alone, so we're part of a milestone in our history in Cartersville and at the high school. So it's just been a blessing just to be born, in 2001 or 2000, because we've went through so much, 9/11, the quarantine, the 50th year of CHS Today, and I just love that broadcast to death. It's definitely made a milestone in my heart.
That's crazy that you bring that up.
That I'll miss.
I completely forgot about being 50th year. I remember earlier in the year you did an interview with Mrs. Jobs. Yeah. But I remember you did that interview. Do you remember? I'm sure you've gotten better at interviewing since that's happened because, I mean, more and more practice. So from that interview, you look back on it, what's one thing you think you might have done differently?
I have a tendency during the interviews to kind of that interview was actually pretty good. That was like almost like the turning point of my ability to interview people. It was changing my choppy interviews into smooth conversational interviews. So there's not much I would actually change about that interview, but I did still tend to lock up or create dead space in an interview that I don't do anymore. So that's one thing that I would change is to be a little bit more on the spot, and definitely during an interview you have to pay attention to how they talk and what they're talking about because that should be your next question, not a question you wrote down, because just it flows so much better. So that's one thing I would change is not being so choppy about it.
Both of you CHSA members since sophomore year. A lot more. I've heard a lot of students are entering in next or putting their names in to be put in the class next year, getting the introduction of an SSN class. A lot more expansions going on with CHS today since this year occurred. So, I mean, recently since Jobs came, expansion has grown. With that, what advice do you guys have for incoming CHS today members?
Jay, do you want to take the floor first?
Yeah. I would say becoming CHS Today members, it's such an amazing way to make great memories and great friends. Be creative, have fun with it. Any little stupid idea that you have, I promise, if she'll let you, take it, because that's where the memories are made, and they'll live with you forever. It's honestly an amazing program, an amazing class. It's something that I think everybody should get a chance to endure and live, but obviously that can't happen. Just enjoy it. It honestly, you'll look back and you will not regret it.
Some advice I have for upcoming CHS Today members is the fact that even if you're not the person that wants to be on camera, if you're not the extrovert, if you're not the one that likes to have attention on them or whatever it may be, there's a job behind the scenes that you can be. There's plenty of jobs that we have at CHS Today that needs that person that doesn't want to be on camera but loves being behind the scenes, whether it's typing scripts, running a teleprompter, running a camera, directing the show, whatever it is, there's a job. Whether you think there isn't or is, there is. I promise there's a job for each and every one of you. Some advice I would give is you have to be an opportunist in CHS Today. You have to take advantage of every opportunity that's given to you. Whether you think you're biting off too much, I promise you can handle one more bite. That's how you have to come at the class with. Because there's times that you'll feel overloaded and like weighed down by every project that you have to do and the deadlines you have to meet. But they just build you as a character to make sure that you become this successful, responsible person so that you work on it when you need to work on it. Another advice I have for somebody is that you need to, oh shoot, it just left my brain. Not do that, that's for sure. But just in general, you just need to be an opportunist. Take advantage. Like he said, any stupid idea that you think's stupid, trust me, it's not. There's plenty of ideas that me and Jay were like, yeah, nobody would like that. Next thing you know, it blows up. Like when we used to just go off on tangents at the end of the show and talk about each other and, you know, find your J and find your LT. That blew up and we never thought anybody would ever even pick it up. Another thing, yeah, it was really crazy. Another thing that you need to learn is not to take the answer no so personal. Just because Job says no to your idea now doesn't mean a week from then she'll say no. So you just have to take no when somebody tells you no with a grain of salt and just be like, it's not personal, maybe it's just not the right time right now. Ask a few days later, or maybe a week later, whatever it may be, and then it might happen. It just might, the timing might be off. So just keep it up and don't take no for an answer practically in that class. That's for sure. Yeah.
So we're kind of nearing the end of our talk, but I just want to ask a few more questions so every year you guys, last year there's the senior water balloons, where you guys throw water balloons. Was that a plan coming into this year?
That was a plan this year. I know Kirsten was going to have her stepdad Lance bring in the deuce and a half, so that big military truck you always see in the parking lot. And it was going to be full of balloons. Me and Trent were going to drive our big old tractors with buckets and fill them up with balloons and hoist me in the air so I can rain down from above. So that was something we were really looking forward to this year, getting all the underclassmen, because it's just a thing that every upperclassman does. Every seniors did it. I went through it my freshman, sophomore, junior year, and that was my time to throw the balloon instead of have the balloon hit me and be chased around by my upperclassmen friends. So it's just a time that's fun, even if you're not the one throwing the balloon. The person throwing the balloon at you is probably your friend, and you're going to enjoy it anyways. It just brings everybody a smile to your face, and I'm kind of sad that we might not have it.
Yeah.
I'll agree. That, I didn't even think about the water balloon fight, but now that you brought it up, that it actually kind of hit. Like, it's just something that we've gone through, and
now you're not going to
do
do it.
Goodbye for the seniors,
So you guys look back, you're saying goodbyes now. What teachers and peers would you guys want to say goodbye to?
I'm going to open with a very cliche line. I want to say goodbye to everyone and thank the Academy. No. But I do want to say goodbye to each and every person I've ever met at the high school who has ever seen me, or if I've seen you. Is that the correct English? Seen, right?
Yeah.
Seen or saw, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The quarantine. I'm sorry, Polish House.
Starts growing a beard.
Yeah. You guys missed it. I actually did have the goatee going, but I shaved it 2 days ago. I had it going, and it was going strong. So I was like, call me Tyrese. But anyways, I want to thank everybody, because genuinely everybody at the high school, whether you were a teacher, at front office, central office, a teacher in a classroom that I never had, if I just saw your face, you impacted me on a daily. And I just want to thank everyone for that. Oh my God, what happened? What happened?
You're all good. You're still there.
Okay. My screen went black, so I got scared. I just want to thank everybody, because you impacted me in positive ways, maybe negative ways. I don't know. I try to get rid of all the negative things because I want to leave in a positive key. So I just want to thank everybody, because you made me the person I am today, and I'm quite happy with the person I became. So I just want to thank a few teachers personally. Paul Schuss, even though we butt heads a lot, you genuinely are one of my favorite teachers, and I love you. The person you are, you're very sweet, caring, and you're a great teacher. You push me to the max that I can handle, that I always want to do a little bit. So I appreciate you for making me find my lines. L-Dog, for always being there. I appreciate you. Senorita Brown, I love you. I want to thank Sydney Job for pushing me to the max in broadcasting and making me really be ready for college broadcasting, because I feel like I have a great foot in the door. I actually feel like I have my whole body in the door when it comes to broadcasting. So I appreciate her for teaching me how to do demo takes, fluctuating my voice, using my anchor voice, doing all of the things that I need to do to get to where I need to be. So I appreciate her, but I can't thank enough the original OG of TV broadcasting, Joe Kowalski. I cannot thank him enough. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in the class, because I really got in there, and I wasn't the extrovert everybody knows. I was shy Latterian, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this class. But Joe Kowalski really made me feel welcomed, and just really made me want to take the class and be better. He saw something that not a lot of other people saw in me. and really brought it out. So I want to thank him the most, that's for sure. And any other teachers I didn't thank personally, Mr. D, TJ, TJ Dalrymple, Maurice Green, Mr. Todd, you are one of my favorite teachers, even though I only had you for a whole year. Like all of those teachers at the high school, Jeff Cooley, Kelly House, my coaches, Dennis Perkins, all of you really made an impact, and I just want to thank you if I don't get to see you again.
Yeah, I would say that too. Thank everybody there. Like, it's all been good. I've had a great time. I especially like to thank and say goodbye to all the friends that I've made and may not get a chance to say goodbye to. The teachers, a few teachers that have definitely impacted me are Mr. D, Miss Davis, L. Davis, Chloe, Joe, Beckman, but really all of them. I could go through and name all the teachers. I've loved all of them. All of them made class fun in some way, in their own way. I'm definitely gonna miss seeing everybody and seeing their faces. And I know for some of the teachers that I was quiet and everything and never really got to know the actual Jay. But like, man, I just hope that you know that you really impacted me in my life. And thank you. I'll thank you every day, honestly.
As Terry Cooley would say, everybody had a second grade teacher.
Everybody had a second grade teacher.
That's definitely something to think about. So all of our teachers, even at the high school level that we just remember because it's so recent, we did have middle school teachers and we did have elementary school teachers that I would thank too. My kindergarten teacher, Miss Moffitt, my 5th grade teacher, Miss Herman, my 2 6th grade teachers in Rushville, Miss Wilkinson, who wrote a book actually, and Miss Burns, the crazy cat lady. I would thank all of them because they impacted me and made me the person I am today.
So that's all we have for the first edition of Senior Night. Again, thank you guys for doing this with me. It was actually really good. But I'm sure everybody's going to miss you on CHS today. You guys have made some of the best broadcasts. You, Jay and LT, you guys are one of the best duos ever in the world. Well,
thank you. I appreciate that. I think we're just being silly all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We're just being stupid.
We're just being stupid. It just so happens that it works.
I mean, you guys impacted me greatly. You guys are both huge role models to me in CHS today. And the way you guys live life. You guys are really great to me for that. I've mentioned to you, LT, before, how I look up to you. But, yeah, again, I want to thank you guys. I'm sure everyone's going to miss you guys. I wish your guys' senior year didn't go out like this. But, again, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I mean, it only makes us stronger. But I think me and Jay would like to thank you because although you're just an underclassman to us, you've taught us, you kind of relit the fire that was in me when it came to broadcasting. Because, you get burnt out after a while doing it for so many years and doing so many broadcasts every night or whatever. You being so ambitious and having that light bulb above your head with everything kind of rekindled that feeling I had so long ago for broadcasting. So I want to thank you too, Nathan. Thank you.
Yeah. Nate, you have so many ideas that we might tease you for, like, kind of poke fun at you, but honestly, take all of the chances that you have, all the ideas, put them into something. All of them. If you need something, just let me know. I'll come and help. Whatever, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I noticed you wanted to kind of go to more of an on-air kind of person, and if you need any help with that, I can definitely help you. And that goes for anybody. Like, although me and Jay are graduating, I think I can speak on his behalf that if anybody actually needs something, needs to talk to somebody, needs help on something, needs to know what to do on a certain thing, you can always hit us up. I'm sure you have us on some sort of social media platform. And don't bother. Just because we're graduating, that doesn't mean we're gone.
Yeah.
And if you need our help, just don't bother to contact us. We'll be there.
Yeah, I'll agree.
All right.
Through it. So.
Yep. Offer advice. Plenty of it. We like to talk.
But yeah, it's been a great talk, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on. I hope to stay in contact soon. Maybe do more of these. But for anybody watching, if you guys if you're a senior and you'd like to talk about your senior year and your experiences, please leave a comment about your senior year and we'll interview you next. But thank you guys for coming on. It's been great.